Raina Khatri is a diverse, unique TEDx Gateway speaker and she wears many hats. As a consultant, she is into women and child rights, limitless enabler, keynote speaker, and inclusive leader creating inclusive workplaces. And she's one of the most energetic leaders that I've come across on the Guiding West platform so far. And you must be wondering how come I can talk about her energy, right? So I have already interviewed her on TGV Hindi and it has become one of the viral episodes. She's super energetic and I'm sure she is going to set the virtual stage on fire. So today, let's chat with her on From No One to Someone as an Entrepreneur. Interesting topic, isn't it? This is the Guiding Voice podcast series, the Guiding Voice for a Better Future. Friends, I am your host Navin Samala, just a fellow IT professional on a mission to make the world a better place to live. Through the Guiding Voice, we drive conversations that matter and conversations that add value to your life and to your career. Don't move away. Stay tuned till the end of the conversation. And thank you so much for joining me today. And Raina, hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice English. And I'm super excited to have you here as well.
Thank you very much, Naveen. I think this is awesome. I'm super excited equally to be on Guiding Voice, especially in the English version, and I'm so sure it's going to be as rocking as it was in Hindi.
Absolutely.
So looking forward.
Absolutely. And I huge bets on this one, and I'm sure we will rock. So, Raina, let's get started. First and foremost, can you share your elevator pitch? Brief summary of your career journey, highlighting a few key milestones.
Okay, so friends, are you ready? Let's just put on the seatbelt and hear me. This is Dr. Raina Khatri, the founder CEO of Right to Rise and RKT Foundation, somebody who's passionate to drive her purpose of safety at workplace, safety, happy, cheerful, free from abuse, harassment, and a very happy workplace. So for a happier workplace, the goal is not actually to be perfect at the end. The goal is to have a better tomorrow. So that's what I always say. For a better tomorrow, you need to be somebody who's evolving. So yes, from a 2 PhD level, speaking 12 languages, from an IT, so from designing chips to designing lives, today Raina Khatri Tandon, not only a speaker, trainer, mentor, not only an IT professional, but somebody who's here to make impact in your life by creating safety, better places through posh POXO solutions, consulting, training, compliances, and yes, for sure, audits. Thank you very much. Also a 2-time TEDx speaker and very soon a Josh Talk speaker. Today on Naveen Samala show, which is a most happening show and here to provide you all the value that we're here for. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for such a wonderful introduction. And I'm sure audience must be geared up to hear more from you. And Raina, can you share the top 3 things that I've attributed to your success so far?
Okay, so success is a very mythological or a magical word. I think for success or to be successful, I can think of some top traits. 1, patience and pause. So I call it the patient pause. If you do not have patience and you don't top it up with the pause, then I'm sure everything goes very fast as a roller coaster, and life in a roller coaster is always a mishap. So you must have patience and pause. Second, P is passion. So be a passionpreneur. Be somebody who's there for a purpose. So passion with purpose. So it's like a glass with a passion and purpose cake on the top. So patience with icing on the top, passion with a lot of icing on the top. So with these 2 aspects, if you are somebody who's going to be a go-getter, then you must also be self-aware that with the 2 P's, you must also know what is happening every day in a day of life. So self-awareness will lead you to patience and passion with a deep purpose for what you're there.
Patient pause. I think that's so profound. I came across a phrase. Yeah, I came across a phrase called pregnant pause. Okay, and this happened way back in 2008 when we were introduced to the Toastmasters Club in our organization. And few seasoned Toastmasters came and they were talking about the initiative. And one of them said, our pauses should be meaningful and they should be pregnant. And I was wondering what this pregnant pause is all about. And immediately the other Toastmaster picked up the mic and he said, the pregnant pauses have to deliver the speech, right? So it reminded me of that incident. And yeah, great to know about these three things, like patient pause, and then passion with profound purpose, and most importantly, being up to date and be in the know of things. Wonderful. Can you also talk about some of the toughest lessons that you have learned as an entrepreneur?
Okay, so the toughest lessons that I feel as an entrepreneur that I had learned was managing people and taking risks. Okay, it's easier said than done. That go ahead for your passion, go and risk your life, go and risk your expenses, your entire money, go for your idea, run after it, be somebody who's very passionate about it. But when you have an idea, you have to be equally passionate and you have to start taking risks. And the hardest thing for an entrepreneur is when he's already exhausted with all his resources, he doesn't know where to get his finances. And that's where your mind becomes a creative self. To follow the passion, you will go anywhere. Second is people. Handling people is an art and skill. And at the end of the day, everything that you come across is about people. So if you raise people, if you rise people, then you will behold as a leader. And servant leadership is always that you start from the bottom where you are there for the people. And that's the hardest thing that I feel that an entrepreneur should be doing. And the third thing that you asked me is branding and pitching yourself right. We always say we pitch as per the audience, but I say that your audience can be different, but you pitch the same. Because when you are hitting the same pitch all the time, then it registers time and again that you are only in that one niche business. And if it's that tagline, then it's Rena. For example, right to rise is we believe that everybody has the right to rise. And whenever we say that, we believe that everybody has the right to rise, it's only right to rise. So that's something that we must always keep talking on, the right pitch, the same pitch consistently. And I'm sure we'll be there as a brand.
Fantastic. So, Reina, let's take a step back and talk about your two PhDs, 12 languages, three books, and two TEDx talks, soon to be a Josh speaker, and you are into so many different things, wearing multiple hats, right? How is it possible for an individual? Like, do you have 48 hours or maybe more than 48 hours in a day?
I keep getting this answer from a lot of people, and sometimes when I get this question, no, it'll be very funny. We've seen this Ma Devi with a lot of hands, no, and we see Superwoman, okay. And I always say it's not about that Ma Devi. We all do our best, and at one time, it's a myth that we are multitasking. Of course, women are very good at multitasking, but at one time we are only doing one thing. And there is a book called The One Thing. If we do the one thing well, then I'm sure we're hitting all the targets faster and completing our tasks. So yes, I have 48 hours. Yes, I am a multitasker. Yes, there are different aspirations, because in a buffet plate, when you go, you will any which ways pick only what you want to eat. Yes, you have a big plate, but at one time you will only pick a few things, eat it, put it around your gut, and then go in for the next. You won't pick all the things at the same time, right? So that connotation will give you an experience that we people, whether we are women or men, we do take two or three things at a time and we complete it well. And that's what should lead you to your focus goal of prioritizing what's important for you.
I love the metaphor. And in fact, in the buffet, not only it's the size of the plate, but also the number of varieties that are available, out of which we are picking matters, right? Likewise, you are prioritizing things. Wonderful.
Super.
That's great. And now let's move ahead and talk about core of today's topic. So, how can somebody become as a someone from no one?
Okay, so this interesting topic of someone from no one actually came to my mind when I spoke to the Naveen person who you're seeing on screen. So from no one to someone is just a metaphor, where I remember this quote that came, no one is an indefinite pronoun, and someone means somebody who's really close to you. So no one versus anyone, and no one versus someone. In your life, you have so many instances that come across you. And I always believe that when you are in front of a person, have and make impact in front of the person so much that he never forgets you. And that's what my journey is. So as a child, as a youth, as a teen, as walking into the life of an engineer, and then from engineering to becoming somebody going all across the globe, doing our education into something very unique as an alienating word as VLSI 25 years ahead, was something that all the time I was thinking, hey, I'd like to do something unique to stand out.
Yeah.
So that's why I say, yes, I was no one and like anybody else when we start our journey. But today I am someone who's hitting time and again a unique spot to be identified as a person who's really into impact, creating a lot of essence for people. If I have to say, it's making the purpose of life more meaningful. And yes, I'm sure we have a lot of great leaders who always give us the attribute of ambition and who say that life is not about one thing. Dream big, start small, make it big. But remember, all that matters is you at least start and move on. Okay. So let's do that together and always have your why very clear. Always have your reasons very clear. Why are you doing what you're doing? And it should be made in alignment. Just because I'm saying start doing things unique, you don't just go up and do everything and anything that you feel like. It has to be in alignment of what you're doing and what's the purpose behind it. So that's in for me from no one to someone. But yes, everything that you see in Rena's journey, whether she's been an entrepreneur, whether she's been a corporate person, whether she has been switching her fields from doing variety of things, from being a VLSI chip design engineer to being somebody who into events, moderation, hosting, a 2 times TEDx speaker, and yes, transitioning from an IT person to a legal advocate of POSH and POXO, the women and child rights. Today, I feel that journey has been very meaningful. I feel that I am there for somebody to make them feel that, yes, we are here to make a change in your life.
One thing that stuck to me is if you want to be someone, it need not take so long. Even if it is for a moment of interaction, if you can create that impact, then you will become that someone from no one. That's my understanding, and such a powerful
Absolutely.
set of thoughts. Wonderful. So, Reina, I'm also curious about who has inspired you to take up these many challenges, and did you have some career path on your mind, and did you ever imagine that you would be into these many things and creating such a profound impact on the community?
Wow, this sounds like that Kapil Sharma show when that guy says, did you ever imagine that you'll be at this spot? Did you ever imagine that after all this success, you'll be coming to Kapil Sharma's show? So it's like coming to Naveen Samla, a podcast, and saying, hey, did you imagine you'll ever come to you at this point? And I would obviously say that we never imagine what's coming in future, but we do aim at dreaming big.
Yeah.
And I would say integrity, making the choices in our life, the words, the deeds, the consistency of all our intentions of everything that we choose in life make us who we are today. So, who inspires? Of course, we have friends, we have families. So, my father and mother, my in laws, my husband, my mentors. And I don't have one mentor. I think I take every person from day one, from when I've started my journey to where I am today, because either they teach you what to do or they teach you what not to do. And both ways, they are a learning for life, because the hardest truth is the better thing is what you should not do, and you know that you should not do it.
Yeah.
So for you to start making the right choices with the right intentions in time, and that's what makes you a person till date.
So people come for both reasons, to teach either what to do and what not to do.
Yes.
Awesome.
I think
Alright.
survival and change is constant. So we can't actually run away from
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And when we are ourselves, then we find the true happiness of what we are doing. And that's what, when we are helping others, we also need to see that it's passion, fulfillment, along with what we're there in life for. That's a good lifestyle. So, of course, yes, that's the hardest truth of life. But I just know that if you are very clear with your path of showing up every time, success is not far.
Yeah. So now let's go back to the entrepreneurship aspect and talk about some of the important traits or attributes that someone should possess to be successful as an entrepreneur. Because I'm sure many young audience might be aspiring to be an entrepreneur by themselves, and also they must be looking for some advice from successful entrepreneurs like you. And what would be your key takeaways for them?
Okay, so every new entrepreneur will obviously want to have the clarity of their actions. Okay, so if I'm going to be a new entrepreneur, I start something today, I must have an idea, right? So I always say an idea has to be something that's very unique, and you have to hunt for something that hits your head. Okay, something that hits my head will not hit your head. So it can't be one fit for all, and we don't copy anybody.
Yeah.
An idea is an idea, and something that you are highly obsessed about, you're highly crazy about, and people should say, "Hey, are you mad? You're thinking about this idea." That is what you must think of an idea. So it should be as crazy as possible. Only then you'll have the kick of running behind it.
Yes.
So one of the traits of being a successful entrepreneur is being madly crazy for what you're doing. Number two is leadership. So obviously we know that leadership is not an inborn quality. You might be born with that, but you have to keep evolving with the different kinds of leadership. You can be a servant leader, you can be a spiritual leader, you can be an inclusive leader, you can be a welcome leader, you can be a leader who's having a top-down approach, and many different traits of leadership. So leadership is a non-negotiable talent. You should have leadership. And third is obviously a lot to know about creativity and innovation. And with innovation, we have technology. So if you don't know technology, if you're not very technology equipped, and you are not creative to use it, then people really get bored of you very fast. So you have to keep upskilling yourself. And that's the fourth attribute. You can't be somebody, oh, I know it all. And you can't be somebody with a lot of ego. And you can't be somebody saying, hey, I know and you don't know anything. So you have to be motivated to keep on excelling, keep on learning, keep on skilling yourself. And finally, can you guess what's the fifth one which I want to give you?
I'm not sure. Clueless.
Okay, you have to be a great seller and the most optimistic person on earth. Okay, because you'll never get somebody to give you a pat on the back and say, hey buddy, you did well, or hey buddy, you actually did good enough for making this day more purposeful. So the intrinsic motivation and the tap on the back or the optimism is never going to go away if you are having that trait. And yes, you have to be a great seller to say every day I'm selling, and you will be selling every day no matter you like it or not. You're always selling who you are as an identity person. Maybe not your business, but people buy people, not the idea first. If they love the people, then they love the idea.
Super. Now let's start firing, Raina.
Yeah.
I'm so energized
fire,
that exactly.
I'm really worried after having your rapid fire because I don't know what are you going to fire. Okay.
I'm going to keep it very simple, and let me fire the first one.
Okay,
what is your favorite number and why?
Okay, my favorite number is 9, and I don't know, I like it as a lucky number. I've always gone. I think when I was very young, I used to play this housey, and whenever I used to have the 9 number in the ticket, I used to win.
Wow.
And I think many a times also it's so been that when we go to pick up something, or when we are actually choosing the right numbers, and I've chosen number 9 and it's been lucky. So I won't say whether it is something to do with numerology or vastu or any of these traits, but 9 has been lucky, and I feel that's my lucky number. Maybe there are other numbers, I'm not really sure, but yeah, I resonate with 9.
In fact, I also like number 9. My car number is
super.
TS10EG0072. It's a fancy number which I bought by paying money. 7 plus 2 adds up
That's
to 9,
fantastic.
and 9 is something, which is kind of auspicious, and that's how it has a lot of significance related to Hindu mythology as well. All right, so moving on, and now let's talk about what is one thing that you would change about yourself. Okay, so do you really think that I should be changing anything about myself? Based on my interactions, no, based on my interactions so far, I don't see anything. Yeah. So whether I am fat, or whether I am tall, or whether I am short, or whether I'm beautiful, or whether I am funny, or whether people don't like me, or whatever that may be, I think it's always important to have a lot of self-care and at least start loving yourself,
So if you really love yourself, then probably the whole world seems very nice and giving. Or if only I have to change something in myself, then it would be the word worry, because I'm sure we all worry someday about our loved ones, about the people who we care, about the people who we serve, and everybody who is extended in our setup. So
Yeah.
yes, if I have to say change something, I will change a lot of worry that I do maybe in due course of time with all of them around. Yeah.
So smart. And yeah, I even given a chance, I think everybody will try that, because that is one thing
Yeah.
which actually is on back of their mind, which is letting us not to be 100% productive.
Absolutely.
So I completely get it. And with that, let's move to the next question. Can you describe yourself in just one word? One word.
Amazing, beautiful, smashing, adorable. There's so many words, and if it's R, then it's ravishing. Okay.
Ravishing,
Yes,
Raina.
yes.
Yeah, I think that sounds good. All right,
Yeah.
here comes the next one. What is the first thing that you notice about someone when you meet them?
The first thing I look at their smile. Okay,
Great.
smile actually captivates me,
Mhm.
and it also gives me the energy of the person, and whether he's welcoming enough to be as humble as an individual and as warm as a person, or as a trait that he carries.
Yeah. Smile is an inexpensive way to change somebody's looks. I think this was written in my slam book during my school days, and in fact, one person wrote on everybody's this thing. But I am completely bought by it. I think smile makes a lot of difference. So that's why we have to keep smiling, guys, and that too it has to come
Yes,
from within. Wonderful. So
that's true.
yeah, here comes my next one. If you could be any animal, what would it be?
I'll be a rabbit.
And what's the reason?
I don't know. The rabbits are very soft and sweet, and they're very pampered. So I like to be very pampered, and I like to be cultured and taken care, and I like to be also petted. So that's one animal that you can keep anywhere, and they are not naughty, or they are not difficult to keep. Maybe.
And people eat rabbits. Do you know
Oh,
that?
I didn't know that.
Oh my god.
Okay, but any which ways, people eat people, right? They eat their brains, so that's fine.
Carnivores. Still carnivores. All right.
Yes,
Great.
still carnivores.
Yeah. Let's move ahead. And last one for the rapid fire, Reena. I'm really curious to know from you, what is one electronic gadget that you'd like to see or invent yourself?
Oh yes, I'd like to invent maybe a, not very sure, maybe a helicopter. I like to fly. I like to feel free. So if I ever get a chance, I would like to go to the biggest research center and sit down and start making a helicopter. And the minute I make it, I just want to fly. So I think feeling free, feeling good, flying, and experiencing the air of being there with yourself, and being open is something that's very beautiful with the nature.
Amazing. I wish your wish comes true. And with that, let's flip back to the mainstream. And before I let you go, second but last question, what is your key message to our audience?
So my key message to all of you is just be yourself. I always use the tagline "Be you," and make safety as your priority. Stand up for who you are. Voice out all your opinions, no matter what you are and how you are. Let not be judged.
Super. I think safety aspect is something which we often overlook, and you brought in very important point. And here comes my
Yes.
last one. Just on a personal note, how was your experience with the guiding voice, and did you see any difference in the guiding voice versus TGV Hindi?
I think both were spectacularly splendid. So if I have to actually go and tell them, this is one of the podcasts that has been very soulful. This has been one of the podcasts that's been so very free flowing. And I wish the guiding voice amazing, amazing sky heights. So they reach out to far and near and all the influencers, so that every voice is being heard and every voice reaches out to all those who need that help to be heard. But it was an amazing experience with you, Mr. Naveen, and the entire team. I think it's beautiful to be invited and honored on this platform. Thank you so much. Thank you.
No, thank you, and yeah, thank you for all the kind words and the support. And in fact, I again take this moment to appreciate Nirja Ganesh for connecting us, making this episode happen. So thank you once again, Nirja. And keep sending some wonderful guests like Raina. And Raina, it's your turn to send some wonderful guests to The Guiding Voice, TGV Hindi and TGV Telugu as well.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me, and thanks for your time and all the amazing insights. And friends, that was our episode with Raina Khatri Chandan. And I was really impressed by her profile, and I'm sure her talk and her every word is going to inspire you to aspire for more. On that note, let's move into the trivia section of today's episode. And before we move into the trivia section, here is a small request to you. In case if you haven't subscribed to us, please subscribe from the app wherever you have tuned into this episode. Also, if you have loved this episode and found the conversation useful, request you to share with at least 3 of your friends or colleagues who can benefit from the Guiding Voice. Thank you so much in advance. Now, let's talk about richest female entrepreneurs. As per a blog published by AOFound.com, many of the richest female entrepreneurs created their own wealth. In fact, most of the female entrepreneurs who top the Forbes America's 50 richest self-made women list created and founded their own companies. Means out of these 50 richest self-made women, most of them have created and founded their own companies. And if you were to talk about a few prominent names, Oprah Winfrey, I think nobody needs an introduction. She's the founder of OWN and O Magazine. She's a media mogul and her net worth is $4.4 billion. Diana Hendricks, who is the co-founder of ABC Supply with a net worth of $6.98 billion. And Elaine Wynn, co-founder of Wynn Resorts, has a net worth of $3.7 billion. So guys, why am I talking about richest female entrepreneurs? If you are a women and if you are aspiring to be an entrepreneur, don't stop there. You can be listed as a richest entrepreneur as well. Just dream big and chase. On that note, I will end the episode here. That's all for today. Thank you so much for joining me. And guys, if you have come across any entrepreneur who has inspired you, do not forget to tag them on social media wherever you found this episode, or you can also leave their name in the video in the comment section if you are watching this episode on YouTube. That's all for today. So also do not forget to share your topic recommendations or guest speaker suggestions through social media or email me at theguidingvoiceforyou@gmail.com. I'm your host Navin Samala, just a fellow professional and a passionate learner on a mission to make this world a beautiful place to live through the conversations that matter and conversations that add value to your life and to your career. Until next time, bye-bye. See you all in the next episode with another wonderful guest.